everyone and welcome back. Oh my gosh, it's going to be raining for the rest of the week. And in fact, it may even rain on me. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to try to clear a lot of this out. And hopefully you'll get a good bird's eye view of what I'm doing. But there's a lot of plants in here that shouldn't have really been planted here because they're going to be enormous. I have a Japanese viburnum snowball, the one in the red leaves over in this side. And that one there alone is going to get anywhere from 8 to 15 feet tall. So I'm hoping to transplant that, oh my goodness, it was a bee, sorry, in the backyard, if I can do that today. But for the most part, I'm gonna kind of cut back and clean this up and just kind of start getting it ready for next spring. This California lilac over here, this one here, you may be able to see in the halo of where these larger branches are. I'm going to go ahead and cut those just so that it looks a little bit cleaner. And also, I'm also going to be removing all of these barberries. I've got probably 3 of them in this, and those are equally going to get like 8 feet tall and wide, and I just really don't want them here because I get deer that go by here all the time, and they're just really a tick magnet, and I really don't want to end up with Lyme disease. I'm not a hypochondriac, however, I do value my health and I do take care of it, so for that reason, as beautiful as those are, I'm going to be removing those. So with that, you guys, I'm going to go get my tools and I'm going to go ahead and get started. I really hope you enjoyed this. And if you want to see more of this, please give me a big thumbs up. And more importantly, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button so you catch me on all my videos going forward. Okay, you guys, I'm going to get started. I think I've got everything I need. I don't think I'm going to be needing any fertilizer or anything. I am bringing in some vermiculite with perlite in here to mix with some soil if I need to, and yeah. I don't know how well you guys can see this, but look at this. I've got some flowers here. So, do I dare cut this? It almost looks like it bloomed recently. I sure as heck didn't see it bloom. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and just kind of give it a nice little shape. So basically I'm cutting it where the node goes up. And this way the leaf or the branch actually starts going upward and not so much outward. And again, I'm not going to do it severely. I just want to get some of these really tall branches that really don't need to be up here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use this chainsaw, but looking at it from a distance, from what little that I did, it's looking really good. So what do you think? Looks pretty good, you know, and from a distance, from up on top of the porch, it even looks prettier. But I wouldn't recommend for you to go cutting your California lilacs, especially in the fall. I would wait until spring after the blooms have faded. Then I would go ahead and trim it because you might even get 2 flushes the blooms by doing that. But I went ahead and did it because I don't always follow the rules. And for some reason, things still work out at the end. But it looks prettier, and I'm really happy with it. Now, the one thing that I didn't do before I got started is that I didn't take you through this whole entire garden bed to show you what is in here, because even though I mentioned what I was going to take out, I didn't show you what it looked like now. So let's go do a quick walk, and then at the very end I won't have to name all the plants. Now, I won't know all of them, but I've tried to identify some of them, and so they may be accurate, they may not be, because I've never grown them before, but I'm going to do my best. But there are plants here, like I mentioned before, like all of the barberries I'm going to remove. And the barberries I'm actually going to trash. You know, I'm not here saying that they're filled with ticks and don't buy barberries. But if you're living out in the country and you're living amongst deer, they tend to harbor ticks. And I don't want to deal with ticks. So let's go in there, let's check it out. And then I'm going to go ahead and work as fast as I can. Okay, so the dogwood, I probably will just trim it and then remove it next spring. So for now, I'll leave it. But I will be removing all the barberries. And I kind of already started trimming that because it was poking me in the leg. So I kind of started trimming that. But that's going to go. And then there's blue beard iris here, Siberian iris here, I believe. And then another iris over there. And I'm not sure what kind that one is. That one there I'm going to move. And then this is a cotton ester. And these are really pretty for just doing a bouquet and snipping off little branches here and there of that. I think that's really, really pretty. So I'm going to leave that, even though it's getting pretty big, but I'll probably trim it a little bit. Over here she has a lot of yellow-eyed grass. I've seen this multiply, but I have not seen it flower. So I'm going to probably pull some of them out, like this one that's right next to the heather. The barberry over here, I think there's 3 of them here, but I could be mistaken. Yeah, there is. And then there's one way over there. So this is what the inside of this looks like. Right here I have goldenrod. This is absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to trim it and cut all the spent flowers off of it. And if I can, I'm going to put a tomato ring around that to keep it upright more. But it is absolutely gorgeous. I have one right here and then one leaning on the fence over there. This right here is a Japanese viburnum snowball. And this is the one that I want to move to the backyard. I won't do it today as much as I'd like, but I'll bring you back to doing that. But I am going to be removing this euphorbia. I like euphorbias. They're beautiful in the spring. This one's actually really pretty because it's got that really blue hue, but I really don't need a lot of them around because I'll multiply anyway. So I'm going to take that one out, but I will leave this one over here and I'll just kind of clean it up. This one here, I think I'm going to be removing, and then this here is a Japanese quince, flowering quince, and I think I saw this one flower, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to trim it down. But isn't that beautiful? Look at how blue that looks. And it's actually quite gorgeous. However, it is like right next to this heather right here. So I may move this heather over to this side over here. She has another heather over here. Then over here is a Politina. And I really am not sure that I want this one. So I'll leave it for next spring, but I'll clean her up. This here is like a Delphine. It's really similar to an euphorbia, but I love the foliage on it. So I will be keeping that. There's a daylily here that's kind of encroaching on that. So I may move that one. But here's another goldenrod. And I tell you, it's so vibrant yellow in the summer, and it's just gorgeous. But I will thin it out and then put a ring to keep it more upright. And then I will be removing this barberry over here. So that's where the garden is. So let me show you from this end, and then I'll circle around so you can see what it looks like. And I'll go on both ends just so you can see what it looks like before I get busy in here. And this is what it looks like from this end. And this lilac, this one here, again, you know, there's so many trees that the previous owner put in here. But I do like lilacs, but we'll see what color this is. If it's white, I'm gonna remove it. And then, yeah. This is what it looks like over here. So now I'm gonna get busy before it starts raining. Look what I found. Oh my gosh, I almost feel guilty for moving this. Get that nest. Oh my gosh, look at that. A bird put a nest in here, in this barberry. Look at that. And let's see if I can tuck it right in here. There. I'll tuck it right there and hopefully a bird will see it. Oh my gosh. That is something I was not expecting at all, to see a little bird's nest. It doesn't look like they were using it or any birds were using it. Maybe they were just building it. I don't know. But what a discovery. Anyway, I gotta finish. There's my garden from a distance. And so you can see how I trimmed the California lilac. Soil in this whole entire property so far looks really good. I mean, it's not clay soil whatsoever. It's really good soil. Yeah, good soil. About up to 9 feet tall, and it's supposed to be like vibrant red in the fall, and then it has these beautiful red flowers, so maybe that's why it's called a red flowering currant. It's got a ton of buds on the stems even though I trimmed it, so it's gonna do just fine. I'm going to give it some seaweed extract to help establish those roots. Now, when you're planting shrubs or trees, I'll bring you really close so you can see where I put the baseline on it. But you don't want to bury the trunk. You just want the soil to be right above that. I could even bring it up a little bit higher because the ground level is right here and it's sitting down below. But when I add more soil to the top of this, I'll bring it up so slightly. But she's going to be absolutely beautiful there. I'll report back next spring, show you what she's doing. But I think she's going to be happy over here. For now, let's go back over so that I can trim my euphorbia. Some new growth. I mean, this is all new growth from this year. And so I can tell which one's the newer one. So I'm going to get rid of these old spent ones. And you can tell by the old ones because they're going to be brown in color. Okay, you guys, I'm completely done and I'm really happy with the end results. Now, I did move all the barberries out of there. I took them all out and just discarded them. Now, again, if you live in the city, barberry are probably perfectly fine. But out in the country, you know, where they are more susceptible for harboring ticks because when deer go by them, they kind of drop off of them. And so for that reason, I decided, you know what, get rid of them. So that's what I did. So you will see those missing. And then I'm also going to take you around to show you everything that I moved around or placed elsewhere. Now, I may not show you every plant that I placed where I placed it at because I want to save that for another video. But I will show you what I took out and rearranged. And now this garden bed looks so much nicer and cleaner, and it just makes more sense for me. Now, I love doing fall maintenance, and the reason for that is because now comes springtime, all I have to do is just watch everything come up from the ground and just flourish and look beautiful. And I don't have to go out there and do a bunch of work. And so even though this was a lot of work, it was well worth it for me. Now, I'm going to show you also plants that I need to still remove, and I'll tell you those reasons. So let's get started, but before I do that, let me show you what it looked like before. And this is what it looks like now. Now, doesn't that look so much nicer? I mean, and cleaner? Oh my gosh, I love it. Now, let me take you real close to show you what I did and what plants I actually planted in there and what plants that I removed. And you probably can already tell from looking at this. So let me get to that before it starts raining on me. Okay. It just looks beautiful. Let me just kind of take you around real quick so you guys can see this from different angles. And I wasn't able to show you this angle over on this side, mainly because the trailer was over here, that was right over here. But now you can see what it looks like. And now you can see how the California lilac looks. It looks like a really beautiful snowball. And from my porch, it even looks even prettier. And all the colors here look really beautiful now. And it just looks clean. And those barberries, even though I really love the barberries, again, I'm glad that they're gone. Now, this Japanese viburnum here, this snowball, that one I'm still considering moving to my backyard, but I may actually just move it across to the other side, because then if it gets really big, it's not going to make any difference, because, you know, you don't see that unless you're driving by, and we're never going to drive by because there's no reason to drive over this direction. So unless I'm walking there, I'm not going to see a lot of the plants that are in the background. But for now, you can see what it looks like. But it looks a lot better. All the plants that you can see that are smaller and that are in the forefront. This dogwood right here, I am going to be taking it out. I did trim it. However, I don't know the exact size that this is, if it's a smaller dogwood or if it's a larger one. But regardless, even if it was small, the smallest one will still get about 6 feet tall. And it's just going to compete with the California lilac and cover that up. So for that reason, I'm going to be removing it. But for now, I'm going to enjoy the fall colors of it. And then come late winter, I will remove it once the plant is dormant. Then right here, as you can see, I have a buddleia. This is a Miss Violet buddleia, and I am so happy to get a butterfly bush in this garden. Oh my gosh, this is going to be beautiful. In fact, it's even bloomed since I planted it. Now, I could have planted it just about a foot over, because this is going to get about 4 feet to 5 feet tall and wide. And it is going to compete a little bit with this gladiola, but this gladiola can simply be moved over, and it'd be a lot less disturbance by moving that than moving this. And I think this is in a really good placement to grow right there. I didn't do anything with this little plant. I'll put the name down. It escapes me. There was about 5 heathers in this whole entire garden area. I removed 2 of them, and I kept 3 of them because of the placements. Then this Siberian, I think it's a Siberian iris, that one I left alone. However, there was another iris right over here. Don't know the variety of it or the name of it, but it was right underneath this lilac tree, so I took it out and I placed it over in that direction over there. This cotton ester here, I just basically just trimmed around it just to kind of leave some pathways in between. And this is great for any kind of holiday decorating, maybe Christmas. It's got great winter interest. It can be placed in any kind of rock garden or rock wall gardens, because this will cascade over and it does spread. So just keep that in mind with this one. Cal lily, I just cleaned it up. This also, I think it's either a bluebeard iris or it's a Siberian iris. This one here, I did move. It was actually probably more centered right here where I planted a pinnacle hydrangea. Moved it over here. And now all the irises are spaced evenly and looking beautiful. This over here is actually a red hot poker. I think it's a dancing hot poker right here. And that one I just cleaned up. As far as the pale yellow-eyed grass over here, which is also considered a Satan's flower. It had a lot more of these, so I took some of them out and placed them somewhere else. I will show you those in a separate video. I trimmed the goldenrod over here. I trimmed it way down, cut and divided a lot of that out, and placed a tomato ring to keep it upright next year. That's a gorgeous plant, and it gets really tall. I mean, that thing will, if it was standing up, it was probably about 5, 6 feet tall. So keeping it in a ring will at least keep it more upright. This is another plant. This is an euphorbia. I don't know the variety. There are anywhere from this type of variety all the way into cactuses. And so this here is poisonous. Every part of this plant is poisonous, but you basically, and it carries carcinogens in it. And so you do have to handle it with care. You do need to be fully clothed and make sure that the sap does not get on your eyes, because it can potentially cause blindness. And if, because it has a particular amount of carcinogen in it, if you get the sap on your skin, it could burn it. It could create other issues. So for that reason, I'm not sure I want to keep this euphorbia, but it is so beautiful that it's got that blue, and it's just even prettier than the ones that I had in Portland. So for that reason, I'm keeping it, and I just do handle it with care. Now, when I trimmed this particular one, I didn't notice that there was hardly any sap in it, but it could be because the old flowers that were on them, the branches that I cut off, could possibly be that the sap dried up on it. And if that's the case, then maybe I'll start trimming it in the fall rather than in the spring after the flowers have bloomed. But as it stands right now, is all next year's flowers. Now, this pinnacle hydrangea I bought, and it's been neglected because of moving here. And so hopefully that this will come back and look beautiful next spring. So we'll see what happens with that. If not, I'll replace it with another pinnacle hydrangea. I know that deer love them. I know that deer will eat them, but nevertheless, if I have to put a cage around them to protect them while they're in bloom, I will do that. That's where I planted it. But there was another euphorbia, and it could have been anywhere in this area right here. And I took it out. And again, there was like 5. There was two more of these heathers that were over here. One was right over here, and I believe the other one was right in this side right here. And those 2 I removed, and I placed them elsewhere. You probably can already guess where that is. This here is a Japanese quince, and this is a red flowering quince, and I'm assuming, I've never seen it bloom. I think I did, to be honest with you, and I can't tell if it's getting some flowers. It's supposed to flower like in January to April, but I'm not 100% sure. But I trimmed it, and I kept this one because it just will look really, really pretty here. I forgot to trim that gladiola over there. That's okay. It's not a big deal. This here is a spur laurel, but it could also be a western rhododendron. But everything that I have researched on this plant, because I'm not familiar with it, points that it is a spur laurel. If it is a spur laurel, from my research that I did, they say that if you have it in your yard, to report it, because it is an invasive poisonous plant. So I will do that. However, I wanted to keep it to see what it does next spring and see how it flowers. If it flowers, it's in between the petals. The flowers are on the spur laurel come in through around the petals. If that's the case, then I will be removing it and reporting it and entirely getting rid of it. Now, in this area also, there was a flowering currant, and I placed that one, as you saw over there. I'll show you that in a minute. But it was right around right here, and it was just really too close. It's going to get really tall. It's going to be probably about 12 to 15 feet tall, more or less. For that reason, I took it out. And then right around here in this area was this polytina. Dug it up and placed it over there. And the reason why I placed it, even though it's not one of my favorite, I want to see what it does. If it doesn't have the flowers that I like, then I'm probably just going to take it out and plant something else. And while I'm here, the previous owners, what they did is that she extended the garden out on the other side of the fence here. And I wasn't going to clean it up. But then I decided, you know what, just go ahead and do it, because there was a lot of blackberry bushes there. There was some weeds that were invasive there. And I just thought, you know what, if I don't do it now, it's just going to get worse. So I went ahead and took it out. So just real quick, from what I can tell, there's some wild carrot, yellow carrot right here. I thought I'd go ahead and leave that. I don't know what this little plant is here. Right over here and right over there are daisies. And I don't know the name of this plant. I will identify it and put it down here on the screen. And then she does have two more euphorbias, which I will be removing this one, maybe keeping that one, but I'm not 100% sure because I do want to add a lot of maybe Russian sage or even lavender in this other side. And then I do have one more yellow rod over here. I went ahead and left that one and then just cleaned up the rest of that garden. There's another yellow rod right here. This one here, I did the same thing as the other one. I divided a lot of it out and just leave a small group and put a tomato cage on it just so that it keeps them upright for next year. This one here is I tell you, apparently the deer might have trampled over it and laid it down. And so what I did is I just kind of dug up one side and lifted it up and put it upright, back up the way it should be. And it looks so much prettier. So that's a keeper. That's going to be blooming in springtime. And you can see that it's got a lot of new growth already in it coming in. So I'm really happy to see that there. Now, a big portion of these plants here are all spring bloomers. The goldenrod are closer to summer blooming. Outside of that, there's not a whole lot over here in this garden that's summer blooming. So I want to really plant some plants here. That was the reason for doing the buddleia as well as the hydrangea, just so that, you know, it has more summer coloring. One of the bearded irises I planted here that was over on this side, as well as the one that was underneath the tree, and I placed that one there. And it'll come back. The roots system showed me that it will come back. So the one thing that I've learned about irises is that they really don't like their feet wet. In fact, the majority of the plants that are in this garden, almost every single one of these are drought tolerant. So that is the reason why I kept it with that same theme, and I will continue to keep it with that same theme. Right over here is a crepe myrtle. I think I mentioned that earlier. And I am so happy to see a crepe myrtle in this yard because it's just going to be gorgeous. And I don't know the variety of this particular one, but whatever variety it is, I'm just happy to see one in this yard because I am actually propagating crepe myrtle that are really beautiful and pink. So yeah, I'm glad to see one already established here. So excited about that. And that's probably about the only plant that was really placed here in the right position as far as like a tree form plant. And so that was really nice to see. Anyway, that's what this garden looks like now. Let me know in the comments below. Now, I didn't mention this one here is a lilac tree. This one here, probably not going to see a whole lot of flowering from my yard unless I'm in my yard somewhere. So I may dig this one up further in winter and then join it with over here with this. This is a currant, a red flowering currant. And I still need to pick up the debris that I dug up, but the fruit on it is really good for jellies. You may even be familiar with it, but the flowers on it, from what I researched, are absolutely stunning. So it has two benefits. It has the flowering benefit, and then it has the fruit benefit. And I can't wait for that to grow and look beautiful in the foreground. And so that's probably where I will create another little garden and place maybe the lilac tree over here and then plant something else in its place, as well as the dogwood. But Now you can see how beautiful this garden looks. Okay, you guys, that's going to do it for me. I really hope you enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. And if you really want to see more of this, please give me a big like. And don't forget to subscribe. But more importantly, hit that notification button so you catch me going forward, because we have some exciting things that are happening as we speak that I hopefully will be able to film it and in its entirety and be able to show you what's happening in our backyard. Okay, I will see you guys on the next one. I love you and I appreciate you. Thank you.